What's up, family? What's going on? Man. Hope y'all enjoyed the last reaction video I did where we was discussing the lady that was basically arrested because she didn't change her kid's diaper. Okay, the baby was running around with the same diaper on for 3 days. Okay, several days. It could have been longer than that. But either way, that was completely nasty, filthy. So we can get into another video today that's also nasty and filthy. Okay, but you know, out of respect for the deceased, we're not gonna go in too bad on this one, but we gotta talk about it because the way that stuff is looking, you got to be kidding. So here we go. Let's get into the video real quick, guys.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. We begin with a report that will leave you ticked off. How could someone ever treat their mother like this? 3 adults are facing charges after letting their mother die from neglect, essentially rotting from the inside out. We take you to San Antonio for this story. 57-year-old Patricia Martinez was disabled and bedridden in her home. Her 3 children, Oscar Dominguez, Pedro Carrera, and Roxana Carrera, were supposed to be taking care of her. Investigators say they essentially ignored their dying mother. Police were tipped off to horrific living conditions at the woman's home last week. Now, once they arrived, they found insects infested all around her bedroom, and the woman actually had mold. Hear me, mold growing on her skin. Patricia Martinez was taken to the hospital for treatment, but it was too late. She died. My guests are unpacking this horrible story tonight. Our guests are here on The Factor Uncensored tonight to talk about this horrible case of neglect out of San Antonio. Dr. Adiemo, how does someone get so neglected that they have mold growing on their skin? Apparently, Patricia Martinez had been so neglected, and she had adult children living with her. So how do you get to a point where you have mold growing on your skin?
So how that happens is there's actually bacteria on your body. There's bacteria in your system, and your body's protecting you from it. So when we talk about these antibodies and this immune system becoming compromised, what happens is that your body can't defend itself from those pathogens. So you have urinary tract infections, sepsis, and so on and so forth. So mold is a fungus. And if you go in nature, you see these mushrooms that are growing on these dead things and decomposing it. So if a fungus is growing on a living individual, that means that fungus basically thinks that that person is dead and is decomposing the person as they live.
That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say.
Yeah.
And
so that's a lot of medical
be
talk.
so neglectful as adult children, Mish. These are adult children, 20, 30, 30 years old. And they are sitting their asses in that damn house, watching their mother waste away.
Yeah.
This was one of the sickest things I think you have ever approached me to talk about. We've gone through a lot of stuff together. This one took me back. I'm not going to lie. This one made me go and ask myself, who determined that the 18-year-old, the 24-year-old, and the 37-year-old were fit in the first place to be mom's caregivers? Because they got assistance from the state. They were given equipment by the state. They were even given an iPad to help monitor, track, and administer medications and food and rotate bathing and clothing. So when you go back to the beginning, or at least maybe not the beginning, but when you do go back, who said that that trio of people was fit to take care of mom?
That part.
I am so not trying to be disrespectful, but just looking at their images, I'm not sure they were taking really great care of themselves.
I want to know their mental capacity, and are they able to do it?
Exactly. Well, how did we
and if so, and if it's that, then the state should be held culpable as well. If you knew you had people in that house incapable of taking care of this woman, and you put the job on them anyway.
Hell no.
Exactly. And this is a community issue too. This isn't just about the state. It isn't just about the kids. This is a larger community issue. And I think Adeyemo was headed over there. We're talking about
everybody.
back in the day, we used to check up on each other.
Yes,
everyone knew what everyone else was up to. Today, isolationism is the way to go. Quarantine took care of that. They put that final nail in the coffin. I'm over here doing me. You're over there doing you. Please stay out of my space. We need to get back to checking on each other.
Doctor, you wanted to chime in really quick, and you're exactly right, Mitch.
You're right, absolutely right. And so one of the things that we say is healthcare is that the most important word in healthcare is the word care. You cannot do healthcare without caring about people. And negligence is a lack of care.
I'm with you.
So the pandemic that we have is this lack of care. And it started with the Industrial Revolution, where the end of the extended family, where people are not checking on each other, down to the nuclear family. And then with COVID, with isolation and quarantine, like you guys mentioned as well. So there's actually 15.7% of elderly that are going through abuse. 4.2% to 12% of them are going to be neglected. And there are so many things that we can do to stop that, whether it be life alert systems, whether it be calling them, checking on home physical therapy, home hospice, food delivery, social networks, and so on and so forth. So the problem that we have is that there is no system. I mean, the state has so many resources that if you see elder abuse, if you guys want resources, I can provide some. But the state has so many resources to stop this elder abuse from happening. But we see that, especially in Lifesavers, we're always seeing the end of everybody's bad decisions in medicine. So we always try to stop it. And our job is not necessarily to just say, this is one problem, but to actually say that this is an example of what's been going on through the society. So if we look at COVID, we noticed that most of the patients that came into the hospital that died were coming from nursing homes, coming from assisted living facilities, were having immunocompromised. And we weren't talking about the societal issues that caused this pandemic. So when we talk about pandemics, we actually have to talk about a pandemic and the lack of care of one another. And that's one of the things that we want to highlight as part of the medical system.
All right. Go ahead. We want to thank you both for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. This is one of those piss me off stories, Mitch. And we'll definitely follow up and see what happens. And I want to know the capacity, the mental capacity of these adults in the house. If they were just lazy as hell or they just couldn't do it. But thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored tonight. Thank you, Doctor. Such a sad situation there.
Man, let me say this, man. First of all, this that bullshit. Okay? And the reason why I say it's that bullshit because y'all look at these three clowns. Look at them. Do they look like they have any type of medical license or degree behind them? This ain't no difference than having Bill Gates create your medications, right? You got these three clowns, bozos, okay, supposed to be caretaking, looking after their sweet mother, and they collecting a check. You see what I'm saying? So this is stuff that's been going on. You got people that are qualifying for home health care, and they supposed to be taking care of their family members and friends and stuff, and they get a check wrote off for them. They go and take that check, and they're supposed to be spending it on hospice care, basically, and stuff that you need for somebody to make them comfortable at home. Okay, for certain machines, certain supplies and things, medical supplies and garments and things, and cleaning supplies and all types of sanitation. I mean, let's be real, guys. Come on now. How long does it take for you to start having mold and stuff growing on you? They talking about it was insects growing by a bed. Like, ain't nobody going in there checking on her? What was y'all doing? Did y'all have a life insurance policy on her? Was you waiting for that thing to cash that in? Like, what was going on? And where was her family members? Her mama, her daddy, her brother, her sister, her cousins. Somebody else should have been checking on that woman. Like the dude said, like, we done got so caught up in people being scared of COVID and everything that ain't nobody checking after people. It's like people could be in their home dead, don't nobody even know because they too worried about their own stuff. They don't want to catch nothing. So they just let this woman sit up in her room and rot. Literally rot. I'm sure that bed probably had a dent in it, probably about as big as the Grand Canyon, where she was laying up in that bed all that time. Springs broke, dang, she probably was in the bottom of the bed because she ain't moved. And if she's sitting up in there with feces and things like that, who knows? But either way, man, that is filthy, that is nasty, and you got to be kidding me. Anyway, guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video, man. Even though it's nasty as hell, we'll do another one real soon. Y'all be safe.